Ladies and gentlemen, got back from Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, I think they got something they want to say. I think they got something they want to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I think they got something they want to say. Washington, D.C. I think they got something they want to say.
Welcome back. We're back.
Hey. Hello.
Feels so good.
Right? Oh, I'm so excited.
Missed you guys.
Oh, I'm so excited to have us back here. It's been a couple weeks. We took the summer off.
Everybody needs a break.
Yeah, it's officially the fall now.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little cold here in New York. No, not really, but it's
but
we had a few days.
We had a few windy
have
days.
A jacket on.
Reminder.
So I'm your host, Kerstyn. We're the Politricks Podcast, and I have my lovely co-host.
Hey everybody, it's Maxine, the Democratic wild card.
And
hello, everybody's favorite conservative in New York, Christopher Wright.
Yeah, and I just thought of a name. I was thinking I was going to test it out.
Oh.
I thought of the liberal moderate, get it?
I like
it's
that.
really corny, but the point is, it was just like a play on words. But
I don't know, sis.
Tell Maxine she was a
I
fielder.
still need a good name. You guys, I need a good name of like something about moderating and stuff. But so we're here with episode 20. We're back. We're chugging along. We're happy that you guys have been listening to us and waiting for us. We're gonna have a really fun episode, just filled with lots of topics. So stay tuned. Continue listening. So obviously, this is a weekly show. We feature political commentary from the Black and Brown experience, and we're a healthy kind of discussion about different topics and different belief systems, and we're not judging people. There are certain times that you might hear us say stuff that's like off-putting or might seem a little bit like out of your realm of comfort, but respect that we all come with different ideologies, religions, creeds, sexuality, whatever the case is. We want to bring that to the forefront, specifically from the Black and Brown perspective. So that's what we're doing here. If this is your first time listening, we're going to give it to you. It's for everybody, but specifically we like to speak from our sociopolitical experiences. So thanks again for everyone for listening and sharing the podcast and leaving comments. Please continue to share it with friends. Follow us on Politricks Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, Politricks Pod. Find us on YouTube. And if you're listening right now on YouTube, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and hit like. You can also listen to us on the Apple Podcast, which is so fun. I love that we're like right there. It's like we're right on your phones. Search.
No excuses.
And you can listen to us on Spotify, Soundcloud, the Anchor app, and we're also on the iHeart app, which is something I didn't even know.
Oh.
And so, we just recently
really
discovered. Yep, we're on the iHeart.
Look at that
right now. So if you're listening on iHeart and you're headed to Connecticut or something. I don't know why I just said that. It's just a random place. I just thought of like Connecticut. You're driving up, you're listening to your iHeart State channel, podcasting, listening to different podcasts. Welcome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. We also created a Patreon account, so we're gonna have some cool content on there. And you can join us on the Patreon account and become one of our proud to pay supporters. So definitely check us out. Let's get into everybody's summers. Like, how was the rest of your summer, Chris? Tell me about it.
It was good. I recently had an event, like a skyback lounge area at my friend of mine's place in downtown Brooklyn. Real nice building he lives in, and there's like a little lounge area, and it's like private event we set up for that area, and we had a good friend of mine, Rob Smith, come out. He's a
Rob Smith. Oh, Rob Smith.
Yes, the gay black conservative here in New York.
Is that his title? Gay black conservative.
He introduces himself.
Right? Because that's all we need to know. Right?
I'm the straight.
Then you got all the questions.
I'm the straight black Democrat, I guess. I
don't know. Well, he came out and he did his thing though. So he came out for a bit and hung out with some people, like a meet and greet kind of thing. So it was a nice event.
Cool. What about you, Max? What you been up to?
The end of my summer was really busy. You know, my kids came home a little bit earlier than I expected.
Okay.
So that kind of like took half my summer away from me. But I tried to still have fun. And then I was preparing Jaden to go to a new school. He's going to a new special needs school.
How's he liking that?
It's going good so far. I mean, I already noticed in the first week he was coming home with different methods of communicating from sign language to different languages.
Is that what? Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's so far seems to be pretty good. I love the no homework policy.
Oh, yeah.
I am like I'm so big on no homework.
Why?
Well, it's been scientifically proven that homework doesn't help improve academic performance.
Thank you. It doesn't.
The only thing that does is reading to children, so it does not help them to send them home with worksheets.
Know.
It's proven. Reading is the only thing.
I tell people
my daughter went to a blue ribbon school. Trust me, they use homework policy. They had one of the best scores, like in Staten Island. They had a no homework policy. I so supported that.
But wait, I don't understand. How
they spend 8 hours a day doing academic work, like sending them home with worksheets to do when they're exhausted and tired for 2 more hours does not help. It's not proven to do any additional help. So I love that he doesn't come home and I have to take that little bit of time I have with my son doing uncomfortable stuff because he's already like, you know, annoyed hours, no attention. Like it was always miserable at his last
But what
school.
about the fact that like homework just keeps you like organized? Like it's like, you know, like when you go to work, you come home. Some people who work in careers like they have homework to do. Doesn't that like prepare you for that kind of life? Like knowing that it's not like when you get home it's like free time all the time? I think it's primarily elementary school. Oh, that's true. Yeah, no.
I think middle school, high school, they need to start doing, especially preparing like projects and presentations and getting prepared for college and things like that. But elementary school, like it's ridiculous that your 5-year-old has to do homework or 6-year-old.
I get it. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So from that elementary school age, homework should not exist. So I love that he doesn't have homework.
Good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my summer was good too. I went to the U.S. Open, the women's finals.
Oh.
Man, that was hard. That was a hard loss for me, honestly. I was happy for the Canadian girl because it's the first time a Canadian won. But
they booed her though.
They did because they wanted because Serena's she's American and she's also going for her 24th. She would be like it's like historic win. Like it would be she's the highest person male or women. I don't know. She's 37.
You think she's done? Like what are you?
Well, no, I can't say. People keep saying, "Oh, she's done," but I'm like, dude, no. She keeps getting to the finals. Like she's like close to 40 and beating girls that are like 17.
But they said that about Tiger, and didn't he just come back and like have some big win or something?
He won the Masters.
And they were saying he was done for a while.
Exactly.
Remember?
And he was going through surgeries and back injuries. She's not been hurt throughout her career. She has not been doing.
She just had a baby. She had a kid, which is that's enough. That's a lot for a woman to have a baby and still be playing.
I'm not going to say how it is. It's not that bad, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. You said that. We were like,
your entire insides are like broken.
Yeah, no. I talked to women that were going through pregnancies and just hearing them with the stuff they were talking about. I'm like, man, what the heck? It's like a human living inside you throughout the day.
Imagine if you now, after you had your baby, you now have to go play the tennis finals.
No, I can't do anything now.
Exactly. So she's making it to the finals just after having a baby.
Well, she had a baby 2 years ago, but what I'm saying is that she's consistently been going to the finals and losing, but this was still post having a child, a 2-year-old. So it's like 2 years ago, she was just having the kid. You know, so it's like we got to give her a break and just pray that she can get there at some point because it would be really, really awesome to do. So I went to see that, and I'm also starting this really fun. Does anybody want to join me in a reading challenge, a book challenge?
Ooh, so
why did I look at?
Listen, I'm good. I'm lucky if I remember to brush my teeth. Okay, like I have so much going on.
She does. But I was just saying, like,
I just tell her I don't want to do homework. Now she's talking about reading a book.
Hey, come do a book challenge.
Girl, no, I did. So since my birthday, I've been reading a book a month. I'm trying to like read 12 books this year.
Yeah. I'm starting reading more myself. It's
important. We're like, because we're older and we stop educating ourselves.
Yeah, like all my books are self-help books.
I do read self-help. I do love a self-help. I love a good self-help book, girl. Don't get it twisted. That's probably most of the books.
I've been doing like business self-help books, like Eat the Frog and stuff like that. Like teaching like different.
Right. Oh, I have one for you. Then this is one book you should read. Then once I'm done, The Subtle Art of Not Giving
I have that. I have that, but I didn't read it yet.
I heard about that.
I have either business or self-help is like 2 different areas.
Yeah, but I like them both, so I'm always yeah. So I'm just trying to educate myself, and just I think reading also helps the articulation.
Yeah, there's something to your brain when you read. I forgot it works like two parts of your brain at the same time that usually you don't work at the same time, only if you're like reading and one other thing.
It feels stimulating. But wait, let me ask you a question. Does audiobooks do anything? Is there like any kind of?
And see, that's what I got to work on because I do mostly audiobooks.
Okay, so does that make reading. What is that? What's the difference?
The reading is that's the problem I'm talking about. When you're actually reading the letters and reading the words, it works. Because think about it, when you're reading, you're reading words. So then you actually got to remember the words and process it.
Yeah.
So that's two parts of your brain technically working at the same time to do that. And what other times in life do you really work those two sides at the same exact time?
Good point. So, oh man, we got to read. Okay, so I'm glad. So you guys, anybody joining? No.
Okay. What do you got to do? Read a book
Send
a day?
details.
Once a book a month.
Let me
book
review.
a month.
Okay.
One book a month.
Send details. I'll review.
Yeah, I like that. I like that answer.
So you guys ready to politic? Let's get into this.
Do it.
All right. So today's episode, unfortunately, we had a really fun guest. I don't know if he would be. I wouldn't consider him fun, but I would consider him very.
Interesting. That's
what trendy. Let's say the word is trendy. He had some stories in the news, and people know who he is. If we mention him, we're not going to say his name, but yeah, it would have been a great episode. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. He was it just last minute couldn't make it happen. So sorry about that. But we're gonna try to continue to bring you guys some guests and keep this interesting. But for today's episode, we're gonna do a rapid fire style because there's just so much stuff that we missed, and we're ready to we've been coming here you had like saliva coming out of our mouth because we were ready to go. Of course Maxine came with anxiety because she was nervous. But us, we were really hungry to get in here. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is Jay-Z. So we all know, most people, I don't know if you're under a rock, but Jay-Z signed a deal with the NFL to consult on halftime performances. Many people are divided by the decision to work with the NFL, especially because Kaepernick still doesn't have a job. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Jay-Z sold out, or are you happy with his decision?
He sold out.
He sold out.
He told he told other people that kind of stay away from the NFL.
He did. That's the only thing.
And that's the thing with me. It's like you were so big on adamant about don't touch the NFL, don't touch the NFL. Then 2.5 years later, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm part of the NFL.
Oh, you mean like in his songs he said?
No, in his songs.
When did he say that?
When they asked him to be do the halftime show, and he was like he would never do that.
That's not saying not to do it.
But then
there was a rapper that was going
part of it. I think he was trying to be distance himself.
Still doesn't say not to do
it. There's a rapper. I forgot, these young rappers.
Travis Scott. I believe it was Travis Scott. He was telling him to go, but in my opinion, I believe he was doing it because they were just going to pay him out for obviously views. Obviously, Travis was on Forbes, made $58 million this year. Shout out to Trav, Netflix and all of that.
Yeah.
But I think, in my opinion, that Jay was trying to say, hey, it's not that don't do it, but make sure you're going to do it and be a part of something. Don't just get the bag. Don't just walk away and have them use you again. I feel like you need somebody involved and inside, and that's where I feel like Jay is in that position.
But what about the main topic at hand?
I'm conflicted with this whole. I'm really conflicted with NFL. I'm mad at Antonio Brown for being fired. I know he did it to himself. I've been going back and forth with my uncle, and he's like, it's good for him. He deserved it. He was messy in the Pittsburgh.
He's another Terrell Owens. He's another Chad Ochocinco. He's another Randy Moss. Another black dude acting like a fool. I'm tired of it.
But wait, what is it? Why don't we have any empathy for our support? Why don't we support our I don't know.
How can you support a baby? So you should be an adult by now. Act like an adult. You're making millions of dollars. A lot of black male youth watching. You know that. All you gotta do is take your multi-millions of dollars and chill out and play football.
He literally lost $30 million
twice
in 2 weeks.
Twice.
But what you see?
It wasn't two. The other one was, I believe, it was
But the Patriots, they broke it down. They said if he would have fulfilled his contract, he would have made more money with the Patriots than he went down with the Raiders.
Oh my God, that hurts. And he would have got a ring.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you think why did he get fired though from the Patriots though?
The Patriots
allegedly a rapist.
Because
wasn't it someone alleged?
Well, it's
and
the
then
press.
text messages afterwards. He said he texted the girl and threatened her. But then I saw the messages on Instagram. It wasn't to me, it was her just posting pictures with like her 4 kids, and he was like making fun of her, like, "Oh, how you gonna afford that? You can't afford those kids." Like, just trolling her. So he trolled her, and they said that it was like abuse in a way, like he threatened her. They said.
Okay, so
once
now
they went that far, and you know,
he must. So
like,
you really think he's like self-destructive?
Yes,
yes,
definitely. Well, when he was on the Steelers, they covered it up for like the 3 years he was on the Steelers. Said there was problems there, but the Steelers just kept it under wraps.
Oh my God, my uncle is gonna. Okay, so my uncle is listens to the show, so he's gonna be like, and you're one person he always has like disagreeing on top. So now he's probably gonna agree with.
Oh, we got the one agreement. Hey,
yeah.
we got agreement. Shout out to the uncle out there.
So well, that's cool. But what do you think, Max?
I do think that Jay-Z contradicted himself a bit. However, I do understand the point that people are making of like, unless we're in the position of power to affect change, we can't really complain about certain things. But what bothered me is that just the whole idea of like the NFL becoming like this area where this discussion about police, like they're so unrelated. And I understand that Cap. No, but I'm just saying I understand that Cap used his moment to make take a stand. But I hated that it became like the NFL was like owning this scenario, the situation. Police brutality became connected with the NFL in a way that I thought was kind of weird. And in fact, I understand why people got upset about the positions that a lot of the owners were taking. But I personally think that they were doing that because a lot of their fans were so, first, let's be real, a lot of them were like the Trump people that were like all about, America this, America that, and I felt that they were just trying to comply with most of their fans.
Too, a lot of military.
I don't know if the NFL as an organization and the NFL owners truly believed what they were saying. I think it was just their base, just like I personally believe Trump says what he says just to please his base. It just is like uncomfortable and awkward to me that the whole thing is related to the NFL. Like, I just wish it didn't go that way. But I also wish that Cap was just supported in a way that he should have and didn't lose his job and all that stuff. I just felt like it went so left.
Right.
And sports was a place.
Because sports is not... And it bothers me also because, like, so many people in the NFL are black and brown people. And they come from, and they put the players in an uncomfortable position because they are making money. You know what I'm saying? And we want to support them. But at the same time, we're, like, anti-NFL. Boycotting NFL. You're boycotting people who are making money, black and brown people who are making money and potentially changing generations of wealth. I don't know. It's like you said, I'm so conflicted and it's like uncomfortable. I just wish police brutality situation wasn't so connected to the NFL the way it is. Like, it's so weird. Like, I get it, but it just is so weird to me. I'm like, why couldn't we like address this separate? I don't know if it's
maybe it's just because
I know Cap was using his platform. I totally hear that.
But athletes for years.
But then it became so connected. Like they're one and the same.
As if they're the ones doing it.
It's like as if it happened on the field or something. Like, it's just so awkward to me. And I don't know. I'm probably gonna piss some people off by saying that.
She's speaking truth. They're using
Listen.
No, we do have to, like, it's sport.
Like, I was fully trying to do the boycott one year. Of course, it was the year that the Eagles. And then it was like at the end when they were like in the playoffs. I was like, I'm sorry, y'all. This is my team. I've been waiting since 2003 for this. Like, I watched the rest of it. Like, I was just like, what are we accomplishing with that? And then just, I don't know. Like, I would have my Cap shirts and like I was super like supportive of Cap.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was just like this weird connection. Like, I don't know.
It's just Jay-Z taking advantage of the situation. If you look at Jay-Z's career, he's done it when he went to Def Jam. He went to Def Jam and he cut off DMX and Method Man's albums from coming out, stopped them from making music.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J and him had beef about the whole situation. So when he came to Def Jam, he was all like, "Oh no, I'm here to help the situation. Oh yeah, we run the house, we run Def Jam." And look what happened there. Then you saw what he did with Rockefeller with his group on them. He burned all them, those guys. Then he did Rock Familia. Did the Titles having issues with the same thing, burning artists under Tidal. So Jay-Z doesn't
So you feel it's like self-centered, like self-absorbed.
Of course, Jay-Z's self-absorbed.
Sagittarius. He's a Sagittarius.
Triggered.
You're making us look bad, Jay. You're making us look bad.
She knows I get triggered from sad men.
Once I said that, I wanted.
Hey, you look at that Sag men right here.
Are you?
December 11th.
Oh, wow.
Now it makes sense.
Everything is coming together. Oh my God. Shout out to all our Sagittarius listeners.
Hey,
We're all inclusive here.
Yeah, we're all inclusive. I don't know. Except if we're like romantically involved, I guess that would have been the only way.
Never
Like,
again.
I've never.
It's funny though when you have like one bad. It's funny though, like off topic, and we'll get back. But isn't it funny when you have like a bad romantic experience? Like after that, you're like, "What is your sign?" Oh no, I can never do that again.
Right?
Like you just write off everybody.
Scorpios.
Scorpio.
Yep, me too. Scorpios.
Just like write off everybody.
Yeah, it's like, and for me, Cancers, like Cancer men, like no, thank you. No, and I've never been in a relationship with Cancer. Like it's like very.
But it's funny because it's just one bad experience. Like we don't really know if it's
maybe
gonna
this is
happen
what
again.
we're
It's like judging. Anyway,
all right,
go
next
back.
topic,
Next
guys.
topic.
We went over time a little bit, but all right, next topic: Democratic debate. Any winners? Who you guys think had a really good? Did anybody watch it? Did you guys?
Is Joe Biden even on this planet anymore?
He was there.
Corn pops, you know.
I can't. What else
back
did
in
you
the
say?
day.
The record. But what did turn your records on? What did you?
He's just. You know what I didn't like though.
Aww.
What I didn't like. They asked. One of the moderators asked, one of the questions, and she was like speaking for like the black people. She was a journalist, and she was like, one of the main things that black people are care about are so important to us, right? And I'm like, yeah, what do we care about? I'm ready to hear it, right? She's like, racism is a big issue. I'm like, what the hell? Like she's talking about what do you call those people? Those the Aryan people. What do you call them? The Aryans. The white supremacists.
Yeah, so you know.
She said that's what we're really.
If it's a big deal, would you be able to think that hard? Like, what were they called again?
Yeah,
like, if they were like down the road every day, you'd be like, yo, I knew exactly. Yeah, them. Yeah, give me a break.
Said Aryans. I'm like, what? I think they're indigenous people. I'm like, no, where are you going with this one?
Yeah. No, but I could think of the white. That's what I'm saying. Like that's how much I think about white supremacists.
Hold up. Though, like to be real though, is this our privilege again to be in like New York City? I'm just saying we don't know if so and so in Boomsville, Alabama is scared to go out their front door.
They don't.
Look, I lived in Florida.
They're enjoying their lives.
I lived in Georgia.
It was ridiculous.
Come on.
That was a dumb. There's no such thing as dumb questions. But honestly, if that's what you're gonna say, every black person is afraid of.
Was it a white moderator?
Maybe
she's black.
I think maybe she was going with like racial injustice. And
no, they probably told her, "You're the black person. You've got to talk about is this."
Yeah.
And it's like, what? We don't care about that. That is not a care in the world.
We do.
Please.
Racial injustice and oppression is a serious thing.
Because they're pushing it on.
And the lack of equality still economically and all these, of course. But I wouldn't call that. She put it under the umbrella of racism. But I think
this is 1925 anymore. I'm sorry.
Right. Now, here's why we're saying this. Now, just so we can let's clarify this. The reason why we're like very this is such a silly topic to say. It's not that we don't think that there is racism. We've been dealing with racism.
We feel it, right.
United States, when has the United States ever not had racism? That's just not what we wake up in the morning thinking about every single second. Like, oh my God, racism, we're afraid that racism's gonna, take my bills. Like, you know what I mean? Like take my house. Like,
right.
Or I'm gonna deal with that white supremacist on the way to work.
It's an important topic, but the main things that keep us up at night are the same things that keep white people up at night. They keep Asian people up at night. It's the same things. It's healthcare. It's education. Jobs. Those are the important things that people of color care about. Mm-hmm. Don't try to pull us like we're just.
But we have different experiences.
We do.
Than they do.
We absolutely do, and I do not want to undermine the experience of a black person that goes through discrimination because we all have it. Mm-hmm. But it's just not enough.
Or is behind others in terms of economic and all that other stuff. Has a harder experience.
Right. But there are other things that really, really keep us up at night. And if you're going to talk to potential presidential nominees, candidates, you can't just say that only thing that black people care about is the fact that there's white supremacists that are upset at.
She was clout chasing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were clout chasing.
You gotta stop doing that.
For views.
Like, I'd rather her say I'd rather say something that's really important to us is the fact that, they're discriminating at jobs and you're not giving us access to work. Stuff like, be specific. But just saying we're afraid of racism is like stupidity.
It's pandering as well.
It's
like,
pandering. That is a
pandering
pandering
move.
That's. I mean, I don't know if that technically.
But where'd they get that? Like, where'd they get that from? Who did they talk to?
They said that's what we're really afraid of that. Maybe
like who was the focus group? Because I'm trying to understand. Like,
that's a good question. I have no idea. Is that young people? Is that I'm more afraid of like people with guns that are mentally ill and that want to shoot it you know what I mean? Like that want to come in randomly that we don't know. Like that, like homegrown terrorism is more of a fear. If I have so many other fear. Ones, and even then, is still not like. I wake up in the morning wondering, okay, how am I going to be? How am I going to have a successful day? Like that's what I wake up in the morning. Now, if my candidates can enhance that experience for me, that's what I care about. Not like scared of like the white man that's gonna take me down. That's not like my main focus. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
yep, I agree.
And it shouldn't be. We really shouldn't. We should really not saying that there aren't, because we know that they do, but we really need to. We need for us to continue to uplift ourselves, for us to continue to see $1 billion deals and $1 million deals, and just be very successful. We need to like refocus our attention.
I totally agree. That's why I hate it when I see celebrities do the whole pandering as well. It's like when people ask you, how did you get your success, you need to be honest and say, hey, it took hard work, it took this, that, a third, but you got to be honest. Don't just say, it's hard out here because the white man's keeping us down. Like, come on, man, shut up. You're making $multi-million for rapping or singing. Come on, man, be honest and tell other people how you can be successful. That's more important than just trying to.
But do you? I kind of reject that in the sense that what if someone came from that experience and they just want to use their platform to try to bring attention?
Oh, there's something wrong with that.
For example, I don't know how y'all feel about her, but like Cardi B, she'll always be like, oh, I remember when I was on the block. I remember what it was like in the hood. This is what it was like. There's still people out there dealing with that. So she may not necessarily be doing it. And does it not make it just as valid?
But she doesn't.
And she'll use her platform to try to get people to understand why politics is important. Right. Not that I know she's like a bad example, but.
No, I understand what you're saying. No, I don't think there's anything like was she getting to with Bernie Sanders and all that stuff like that. I don't have any problem with anybody from a bad neighborhood getting into politics and getting their voice heard. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just have a problem with there's when you come to the youth, man, you can't inject a victimhood mentality in people's heads because if they're out there, if they put that in their head, that's going to stop them from succeeding. Everybody knows to be successful, you got to work hard. Everybody knows that. So tell young people that, man, so they know at a young age.
And we got to empower ourselves, stop with the fear mongering type things, and the fact that you tell people the fact that you say that in front of like a majority white panel of candidates that black people's biggest fear is racism. It literally undermines not the struggle, but it also undermines like our lives. You know what I mean? It's like we're literally still we're still behind. We're still behind, and again, people listening, we know that there are injustices, but we can't be talking to potential presidents and telling them that the main thing that we're scared about is the fact that there's racism out there. Like we've always had racism. Yep. It's never been a time there's never been racism. Right. Period.
There's always going to be racism.
I was going to say, it's like the generalization of the status of black people in America. And it made it feel like we were so much more below than I guess we are.
Correct.
And the power we have.
I agree.
Hey guys, it's Maxine here with a special message for our listeners. I want to thank you for listening to Politricks Podcast and wanted to share an exciting offer to entrepreneurs and supporters. We are now offering businesses the opportunity to be advertised on our show during this mid-roll. If you're interested, please email hello@politrickspodcast.com. We are also taking support from our listeners through the Anchor app. Just click the Support This Podcast button and you can give whatever you want. The funding is helpful to increase our production so we can add video and start marketing and advertising for our podcast. We appreciate you and please continue to listen to the show.
So is there anything that you guys heard in there that you were happy? Did you guys like anybody? Did anybody do well?
Nope.
No, I mean, I told you who I like Yang. I like Tulsi Gabbard. Those are two candidates I feel like.
I love Yang, and I was even frustrated.
I'm not saying Tulsi was. I'm just saying
but you're saying who you like. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yang did that thing.
Yang did a lot of things I was frustrated with.
Really? But he surged in.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of people who are on the Yang gang like me were pissed off with him doing the little infomercial.
And what about the Asian thing?
And the Asian comment. And the Asian comment. But you guys, Yang is very smart, right?
Okay.
And even though it's very infomercial, what he did when he said, we're giving 10 families $1,000 a month, like go to yang.com and sign up, right? Everyone was like, you're like buying votes and this is weird. What are you doing? But it said something like he got like 400,000 people signed up. Yeah. So as much as it felt like you're changing your style, like why are you switching up? Like we love the genuine Yang. Like, why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. He also got, it was all over the place, the news, there was so many media bites about it, and then he got like hundreds of thousands of people signing up. That's now a mailing list. Now you've got, you're distributing information. So it was actually genius. Strategic. But I think it cheapened. But you know what?
You know what it did though? You know what it did? Because what he's doing, it was separating himself from the mainstream media. He had to separate himself from the mainstream media.
That's right.
He saw what the mainstream media's been doing to him.
He wanted direct access.
Good. You brought into the next topic.
But now you have to, you got you got direct access. I want to see you going back to what you are talking about, the policy, and like, you know what I mean? Like don't mess up here.
Yeah. Stay on focus.
Be genuine. Stay genuine.
So he's still like obviously my number one.
He's my number one too. I think that what he did was so genius. I like what you said, but I also think that I like both of you were saying, because exactly what I'm thinking. I also think that we have to remember what type of candidate he is. He will not wear a tie on purpose. Mm-hmm. He's doing all of this stuff is to tell us, like, stop wasting your time with stupid things.
Thank you.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if I wear a tie, if I wear a dashiki, like, it doesn't matter.
I'm not having issue with that.
Why can't I wear a dashiki and run for president? I'm wearing a dashiki, man. I'm running for president. I don't care what you say. Like, y'all are haters. Anyway, he can wear whatever he wants, and he's saying, like, focus on the policies. What he's trying to do for America is put $1,000 in everybody's pocket. To me, I don't see that as a negative thing. He's not saying it's going to take our tax dollars. The only thing I think it might be tax, though. I don't think he's mentioned that.
I think he needs to do a somewhat slightly better job explaining the
concept. How so?
The financial aspect of it, like explaining in very good detail, because he's got a lot of conservatives and independents looking at him and thinking about it.
10% of Trump supporters.
They're just like, I just need to understand how this is going to like affect my taxes. I just want to understand where the money's coming from. But like overall, it sounds like a good idea. And a lot of nations, maybe they don't have the same population as the United States. I'm not comparing. Where this model has worked, you know, it's been proven like this UBI concept has worked. So he's not like complete, like he doesn't have a crazy idea like Kamala tried to shade him with.
Yeah, she tried.
But so I just think he needs to do a better job explaining it, because he just says, oh, $1,000 a month is going to do this. But then the people who are on the fence with him, he just got to explain financially how it's going to work. Right. And then I think he's got
some supporters. Like,
hopefully.
I think he's doing everything on non-traditional, and I think that that's what's going to work for him, because that's what literally worked for Trump,
exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. And Trump is never mentioned him. He's like the quiet and I don't even like. I love the way he's moving, because he's quietly inching. Like, I think I saw one of his polls, like he's beating Kamala. So it's like
California.
In California.
Girl, get your life.
Okay, that's scary, man. That's scary.
Black folks don't like you, Kamala.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. They do. Because she locked up black men. That's all she does is lock up black men.
She actually has. You know, the thing is, she locked up criminals. We got
super predators from Hillary's term. Is that the thing? It's like what's a criminal now?
Reagan called black people monkeys.
I just think she doesn't defend her position good enough, and it kind of is off-putting.
They never do.
Because she was on with Angela Rye, I think, and she
horrible. She failed.
I know. I was like, girl, that's your moment. And she asked her.
Angela Rye was really nice to her. I was surprised.
But I mean, like, there was the moment for you to address all of the black people who were upset with you.
She's stiff.
And I felt like,
she's stiff.
Girl, come on, just. You know, but people say that about Hillary. So I don't know if you're a Kamala supporter and you're feeling the way I felt when it was, 2016 and people felt that way about Hillary. I don't know, but I'm one of those people who are like,
I want to look. I don't like her.
Me too.
I really wish
I
liked her, because she's like she kind of feels like someone that could be related to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she feels like she does. But I mean, I'm just the way she looks. But I'm just saying, But I'm just saying, like, I want to look. This is how you know that identity politics doesn't always work, because she's a black candidate and she does not have woman in power,
educated.
I'm black. I love everything she did. I love that she accomplished everything.
Lawyer,
but I do not. I like that she went to Howard, but I just cannot. I feel like she's fake. I don't.
How
like
did you feel about her? being a part of that affair.
That's the thing that's the thing that's.
Is that a big? Okay, so
he was a sugar daddy. And he was a sugar daddy.
So wait.
So let's talk about it.
Wait, are we talking about?
We talked about that already.
Which one?
The mayor of Sacramento.
The mayor of Sacramento, the older guy.
Allegedly.
Willie.
Yeah, but he came out numerous times.
Why does he keep doing that?
Because he still wants her. He wants that Kamala still.
He wants that old thing back.
Yeah, man.
I want that old thing back.
She's on the other side. Her husband. And then that was the most random guy.
She's
so
done.
random. And I don't mean because he's white, but I just mean he's random because it's like she doesn't have kids. She doesn't have any kids with him. I don't get it.
That's an interesting topic. I know we need to hurry up, but like,
yeah, we've got one more second.
Some people feel like if you're a black person and you're trying to support, the experience of black and brown people, and then your spouse or partner is like another race, like. How are you? A lot of people feel like, no, you think like you can't. You're a traitor,
hard.
So I think there's also people who have issue with her as well, like trying to be the face of black people and like your husband. And the same thing with Don. What's his name? Don Lemon.
Don Lemon's married to a white man.
And he said like white men were like a threat to society or something. And but you're sleeping with one every night. So like, yeah.
That's just a threat, huh, Don? Not at night.
Next topic. All right, so we kind of talked about Yang Gang. We talked about the fact that MSNBC, we didn't mention this, but he was kind of saying that MSNBC isn't giving him a fair shake in terms of like politically, they're like silencing him.
They totally are.
And I mean, but does it matter? Like, does like a candidate like him, does he need like an MSNBC and NBC to like really like?
Trump showed he doesn't.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think with the left, I was
gonna say
they do. The MSNBCs and CNNs.
They need it.
Yeah, they do.
I think I think it's different because a lot of Hollywood media like is very involved with the liberal element or the Democratic Party. So, I think it's going to matter in this case. They have a lot of power in the establishment as well. They're very just kind of coined two and two together. So I don't know.
I just think the primaries. I just think that if he just focuses on winning these primaries, like who's going to win Iowa? Like, is it going to be like one of the top three?
Another thing I feel,
if he beats them, then I think everyone's going to be paying attention to him. Then they're going to be putting their faith in him.
What I would be interested to see is the breakdown, because I've said this a lot on the show. I feel like Republican Party is like two different kind of people. You got the ones that are voting for their own like financial gain or for their own financial reasons, right?
Right.
Taxes, whatever. And then you have these others that are all stuck in ideology, whether it's religious and they grew up this way and whatever it may be. You have those two. I wonder which concentration is more, because I feel like sometimes on the Republican side, people vote for their best interest, whereas the Democrats, it's not like, I don't want to say sheep mentality, but a lot of times you just vote because that's what you do. Right. You know what I mean? Like, black people don't even think another way. It's like, I gotta be the Democrats. I don't know if it's easier for the Democrat or like my mom. It's just like my parents. Like, I just think it's maybe easier for the establishment to hold on versus the Republicans, where people are more self-absorbed. Let me just say, so they'll be like, I don't really care if this is how it's been 150 years. Like, I see the benefit of me doing X, so I'm gonna do X. Whereas I don't know if there's the same kind of independent thinking on the Democratic side, which we're obviously trying to help them see.
And with that said, watch the minority vote for Trump in 2020, because you're going to see a big increase, because black folks are waking up, and I'm talking to them all the time, and I'm watching them grow all the time. And they're like, enough with this, this slavery mentality, racism's out there, is out to get you. And it's like, no, how can I get more money in my paycheck? Like, if you guys are telling me I can do that by just doing this, and you guys are passive,
you have to be really rich for a Republican to give you money in your paycheck.
No. Like I said, we talked about this. Trump, I told you $80 per week after taxes I got after Trump. And that was literally a week after Trump.
For myself.
Yeah,
I don't know. The only thing I had seen was like my 401k.
I just see stocks, but I don't see anything.
Again, I'm not attributing that to Trump. Like, I'm just not.
Well, you kind of.
Because all I know is he passed the tax cuts, and like a week later, I saw a change.
But it's also very volatile too with this China trade.
He can say something with the China situation and like.
And look what China did. Back down.
I'm just saying, there was a day where the stock market dropped like 800 points.
I know. I remember.
Trump said so. He he's just as detrimental to your financial situation. It's a risk with him.
It very much
is. High risk, high reward.
But you get that's the thing, and and China needs to be put in check.
Why you give him that one?
No, I'm just saying, but it can be on the opposite side as well.
It can, but you
just as much as you can gain, you can lose just as significantly. He's too risky in that sense.
But America got its backbone. Everybody
thinks it's gonna go. Everybody thinks it's just gonna be a high point financially with Trump all the time because he's a business guy. Like, do you not see how detrimental he can be to the market, to the economy?
Look, I'm not blind. I'm not saying I'm a big Trump guy, but I have seen how he could the first day he became president, tried to pass a travel ban, which even to me, I wanted that passed, but day one. So and he had all the corner stores in New York shut down the next day.
Really?
Oh yeah, I know the guys at the corner stores. They went to pray somewhere in Times Square that day. And,
oh my god!
And I didn't have a problem. Like I said, I had no problem with the travel ban. I'm like, whoa, man, he goes hard.
Yeah.
But he got me still. With that said, once I saw him doing that, I knew he was serious.
I just think for someone with anxiety, I can't have a president like Trump.
Okay. He does not help.
He doesn't give me a panic attack every day.
Right.
Those are with anxiety.
And I don't even have millions of dollars in the stock market. I don't know how them people wake up and be like, today, bruh, please don't.
I saw on Twitter they were looking a little upset. There were some really upset hedge fund people. But all right, next topic. There is a fundraiser. Speaking of Trump, in Beverly Hills during Emmys weekend, which is this weekend, actually, that go for as much as $100,000 per couple as part of President Trump's re-election efforts. Organized by his campaign. So Will and Grace actress Deborah Messing tweeted about a week ago saying, "Please print a list of all attendees, please. The public has a right to know." Do you think that's right?
That's fascism. That's fascism.
What?
But she's not. She's just an actress saying
because
that.
What's her point?
Her point is she wants to know who she shouldn't work with, to blacklist, who we should shame.
Exactly. So you can ruin people. You can ruin people's careers. So if you're just an everyday person who decides to vote for the president of the United States again, you can have your career ruined. Yeah. That's fascism. That's what communism starts. That's where Nazi stuff. That's how you get that started, by saying you better think like this, and if you don't, we find out you don't, we're going to shut you down. If we don't kill you, we're going to shut you down money-wise. So you can't make a dollar.
Say that he's wrong. I can't say.
I wish I could.
This time I cannot say. I actually have nothing to say on that. I agree 100%.
I can't disagree at all.
Yeah, that's wrong.
On that note, it's none of our.
Nowadays, we're in that Voxing stage where people Vox you and put your address out there, what you got to, all that information.
Scarlet letter, what the heck?
It's none of our business. And in fact, I don't know, it might even backfire on her because I feel like more and more people are not necessarily stoning, crucifying people for voting Trump. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in the air.
Maybe because people's family and friends are saying,
people are just I don't know, you'll see people try to defend certain things that he's done, or not. Even if you don't defend Trump, people will say, okay, well, what did the Democrats do for us? And then you struggle, and you're stuck in the middle. Okay, what do I do? Do I just be So I don't know what she's trying to. I guess I see what you're saying with the blacklisting and all that. Because I was trying to say, what is for the everyday person? What are we like? What are we? Why do we care?
Well, it's the same way that we Equinox
people are fake. This fake outrage. You'll be mad for a week and then you're back to going.
Working at Equinox. Yeah. Everybody signed back up probably. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Equinox.
Kraft. You still buying Kraft cheese?
Chick-fil-A. My friend took a picture. The line was outside in Times Square, all the way out the street.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Chick-fil-A, by the way.
They support Trump.
All day. And they proudly do it. Much love for Chick-fil-A.
They support Trump. They're very they're very homophobic, and people still lined up. So it's fake outrage.
We're so conflicted. All right. Next topic. Actress Felicity Huffman. We're in Hollywood today. Of Desperate Housewives and When They See Us. She was sentenced to 14 days.
A whole 14 days?
Yeah, I believe it's 15K of, or 30K of, I guess, restitution, I guess. And I don't even know if is that considered restitution? And 250 hours of community service. Is that fair?
No. Not at all.
Disgusting.
Not at all. And I forgot there's a black woman's name.
Her name is Tanya. Tanya, I have her name somewhere. Tanya McDowell.
Yes, and when she did something very less on that level, she just moved. She lied about where she lived.
She said she lived in a different area so that her son could get into a good school.
Yeah,
and then she got 15 years.
15 years.
No, don't say it.
Uh-oh.
Don't do me that.
Wild card.
They hate
Next. What?
So I did some research.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you did it. I was like, okay.
No.
Okay, I was like, girl, don't say it because I don't need you to get...
I get locked up.
I would gladly admit that on here.
No, but you did it.
And I met women who've done it when I was growing up.
I would gladly admit that.
People, parents who've done it.
Because I'm a parent and I've always cared about putting my kid. I totally agree with her. But what I'm gonna, it killed me to have to say this. But we always got to keep the record straight.
Keep it real.
Okay. She did not go to jail for 15 years because of that. It was a joint charges with also selling drugs. There were 2 charges against her. So I'm just like, but that's all you saw was the headline, like, goes to jail for 15 years for putting her son in a different school. It was one of the charges of 3 charges.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
So let's just keep the record straight. However, we can also say, well, what was the position she was in and why did she feel she needed to do these things? And she obviously is a good mom if she cares about putting her kid in a good school. Yep. So, like, I'm not judging her, but I'm just trying to keep the record straight because the media loves to just spin stuff out of control. And
fake news.
But this woman, privilege all the way. It's not fair. It's not fair. I know what it was like in trying to get into college and do it the right way, and it's just so unfair. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Especially when you have so many advantages. You got all this money. You got so many tutors.
Why don't you then these spoiled brat kids, like, you know, they don't have to really work hard because they have everything handed to them, and then they just walk right into college? Like, that is just...
Give me a break.
You're just so... That was really frustrating. But
that's why I always tell celebrities when it comes to politics to keep your mouth shut. And I tell all the celebrities, Mark Wahlberg, shout out to you for telling that, saying what I'm saying. If you're a celebrity, shut your mouth about politics. You don't know our life. Celebrities. Like actors, and Mark Wahlberg came out and said...
What did he say?
He pretty much told other celebrities, like, you guys haven't lived their life in so many years. You don't know how it is to be middle class, upper middle class. We don't know how it is to live that life. So we need to stay in our lane.
Wait, he was supporting it?
No, he's against celebrities.
Just saying in general, but I don't think. I mean, I think they're also. I mean, they're also citizens. Like, why can't?
But their platform is big. Like,
so what? It's I can still speak. I can't. So you're saying because I'm up, I gotta keep my mouth shut because I'm a celebrity?
No, I'm saying they have a big platform. They should use it.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but he's saying they should shut their mouth.
No, when it comes to certain things.
But what if they were like supporting Trump? If they were supporting Trump,
they have to vote too. What?
No. I have issue with them talking about certain politics.
Like
and
what?
Like since what happened with the school thing, like. Why? Okay, if you want to talk about this, you want to talk about laws and everything, and be big on that, then why when the law comes down on you get 14 days? When the law comes down on us, we get 15 years. I know it's a little different, but she would have still got 6-7 years just for that.
Well, what's the proper punishment for her? What would you guys say?
None. A fine.
No, I'm talking about Huffman.
Oh, her.
I mean, I got to see. I don't know what the policy is, but that sounds like a serious offense if you do something like that. That's pretty
major
serious.
Fraud.
That's major fraud. Like credit card fraud level stuff.
Years.
So you need like a year or two.
Yeah,
I think,
a year at least.
Wow, you guys are
Jesus
Christ.
Lock her up.
Lock her up.
I would just say I would hit her with a fine, like a
big fine,
like $1 million.
6 months.
Or I would say
probation.
A year. But I would do like her
house arrest.
House arrest. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There's a year house arrest.
But what about like working? What about working in like underprivileged? Like to me, I think that why don't you go work in like a really bad school, do some dangerous.
Oh, you know what's a good one?
Dangerous minds.
Have her clean out the streets in Baltimore.
Wait, I have a good one. You know what? I have a good one.
Go to work.
They should have forced her to pay the tuition for some like really poor like black and brown kids.
Yes. A scholarship, fund a scholarship. There you go. Actually, what she should do in general should do that. She should still do that now.
No,
she should create
her.
But she should do it now. Like if anybody knows Felicity has any connection to her, tell that woman to start a scholarship for people of color because there's some people that you took
knocked out.
You knocked out, and you know what? And you're a part of the bigger picture. You're not the only person that's done it, but there's the bigger picture.
Or think about the kids that got in and then they couldn't go. They chose community, like they had to. They couldn't go because they couldn't pay for it. Right. And you're just like, you're playing around. They worked so hard to get accepted and everything, and they had to make the hard decision. Like, I can't take this on. I don't want to be $100,000 in debt or whatever. And they had to. And your kid didn't even work hard to get in. Like, it's just hard. I don't know.
All right, guys.
Celebrity privilege.
All right, next topic. Oh, we're getting through it. We have 3 more. Let's try to get them done. All right, so
in 10 minutes.
All right, we could do it. Okay. All right. So did you guys see Maxine, the political activist, and I don't even know how to say his name. Is it Maxine? I don't know.
Don't ask me to pronounce the name.
I know he has called out Shaun King, the other political activist, and they both wrote articles to like go against each other on Medium. I attempted to read both articles.
Me too.
I really did. I read half of it, and I was just like, "This is so
I got
stupid."
halfway through.
It's just a back and forth.
It's like kind of dumb. It's like one person saying your integrity's gone. The other one person saying is, "How could you bother me? I met Rihanna. She highlighted my work, and you took away the time." Like it just became. It's all about
petty.
me. It was
Ego.
just It was just. This is what happens. I think with like these like political leaders, and it's hard, right, to be a political leader, activist.
But I'm very anti Shaun King.
Why?
Because he's
I'm
white.
very.
For one.
I don't.
He's a white leader.
But it means nothing.
Well, I'm glad that he's.
You need black young men. You need to be a black man.
Not necessarily.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Because look, if you're gonna say how you gonna tell me how to be a young black man in America when you never been black in your life?
But he's
That
like
doesn't make any
half
sense.
black.
No, he's not. His parents on his birth certificate again were white people. He came out and said, "No, it's my birth certificate was wrong."
He
My dad was.
kind of blackish.
He did say something
No, he
about
cuts his hair like a
he
black
doesn't
guy.
want to
And
he
he gets
doesn't want to
tans.
talk about his ethnicity or something. Like he
course,
was
of course
being a
not.
married to a black
But I don't
woman.
really care. I don't.
Okay, so a lot of white guys I know.
His
I
kid,
don't-
he has 4 kids with a black woman.
That doesn't make you black. That makes you married to a black woman with mixed children.
But that doesn't mean
what-
you can't
That's a-
advocate. That
so
doesn't
you-
mean you can't
thank
advocate for
you.
black people. Like
Now,
I'm not saying.
but you cannot tell black men how to be black men.
He's
in my
not,
opinion.
though.
Yes,
My
he is.
issue with him-
He's always
my-
coming out and he's speaking on black issues. And it's like, bro, we don't need you to tell us how
Capitalize.
to be carrying ourselves as black men.
But he's trying to help.
No, he's not. He's selling BS information. Malcolm X helped. Martin Luther King helped. Malcolm X does not help.
I think my issue with Shaun King is I don't like his approach. It's like very problematic to me. It's very divisive. Like I don't like his approach at all, and I really feel like he almost does more damage than he helps the situation. I just and I do feel like there's this uncomfortable itch that I can't really figure out what it is about his motives. Like it just is just uncomfortable to me.
And he's screwed. There's a lot of angry
It was
black women
before
who've done
this
business
whole
with him
thing
and got
came
screwed.
out. Like some of the allegations, I wouldn't even just from his social media posts and stuff. I wouldn't find it hard to believe, that he would be that way. The stealing of money and the mismanagement of funds. I don't know about all of that.
But they're just saying that he had a private investigators.
But you know what? I have issues with organizations. Period. Like a lot of these non-for-profits, and they have these missions. Like they're all corporate corrupt.
Well,
a lot of them are.
So then what are we saying?
So I don't want to pinpoint if he's doing it, but I'm just saying like I don't like the man, period. Like his approach doesn't work for me. However, people were saying this D guy is just mad because DeRay is mad because he's like kind of started Black Lives Matter and he felt he should have been the face of it.
Right, and he's
so
not
I think
getting
there's a power struggle here, and they also allege that he did some weird stuff with the money too.
He did too.
So it's just too like they're both just
it's a mess. But God, I mean, the only thing I don't please. I think any people listening to celebrities, athletes, political activists, any of these people, politicians, do not praise these people. Be entertained by them, get the new information, but do your own research, and don't idolize these people. You know what I mean? Like, don't.
He has like a very cult following.
People, but that's the problem. That's like with church leaders. Like like in Houston, that church leader, that Joel Osteen, who closed the doors on this time he didn't, but last time during the hurricane, he has a mega church, and mind you, here in Houston, and he closed the doors and said no,
tens of millions of dollars,
and said no.
Well, at first he did, then he opened them up.
But still,
After
he said
pressure.
no. How do you're a
pastor.
And
pastor.
they're still following him.
That's come on, and they're still giving him money. Next topic. I'm sorry. All right, so this is a fun topic. Well, not a. Oh, why am I saying it's fun? I'm sorry, it's not a fun topic, but I'll cut that out. So black trans women have called out BT for Black Girls Rock. We haven't talked about this, but I thought this would be interesting. But
anxiety.
Angelica. This I guess this trans person supporter, or I'm not sure if she's trans herself, but Angelica tweeted, "I'm willing to bet that no trans women were invited or highlighted at Black Girls Rock. Is it 18 now? 18 black trans women have been killed this year, but no mention during the segment dedicated to the lives lost." Do you guys think that that's something that should have been done by BT? Were they wrong for doing that?
Wait, I need more context. What do you mean the lives?
She's basically
dedication to who?
So you know how they put all the people we lost. right? All the people that died. Why weren't trans women involved in that?
Was it actresses? Like, what did...
Just people in general, political people, like just maybe they weren't actresses.
Because all of the 18, they're not like stars.
Fine.
They're just...
Okay, but because trans, like, can we not give these people a moment?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
so you agree with that?
I don't know if it's that moment. But
they also feel like, why aren't trans women invited, and like been like having a moment in Black Girls Rock during this whole?
Because you're still technically a man. I mean, I hate to just put it out there like that, because that's the problem I'm having. It's like these black women are having issues with this. I'm glad they are, because I'm like, look, man, like, we as women have our own issues, our own struggles we deal with just as women. Who are you as a dude in a dress to tell me we're similar?
Be careful.
We're on the same table. I understand. I'm sorry. I know. I'm get some triggers going. I get the triggers going on.
No, but you know what?
Because,
I do see what you're saying.
But I'm going there because women, and it's because women's sports are getting affected now. Okay. When you got these men participating in women's sports, and you see what's going on in track and field in high schools and colleges, these men are coming in first and second place, and women who are working hard are getting a bronze medal. And like, and you see them on the stands, they're looking all depressed. Like, really? And it's like these two dudes with his like muscles, because hit puberty, he's muscled out with his braids showing. Like, come on, man, let these women have their moment. Men, you need to step to the side. And like I said, when men need to have their men activities, women need to have women activities.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to say, because
this is tough.
For the people who. Okay, so we have to have some context here. I do see what you're saying, and that's what a lot of Black women are saying. The fact that what you're saying is what's been echoed by a lot of Black women, feeling like this is the space for Black women that are cisgendered women, which are biologically. Is that
what that means? I always wondered.
Cis, yeah.
Cis means
you're biological,
that you
identify as the same gender as your sex. So you are cis because you're a man. Like, genetically, and you're also identify yourself mentally.
So you're cis.
Yes.
That's the term.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sis?
I got it. I understand. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Oh, we're going to use so much time.
No. But I know. I think this is a very nuanced conversation. And here's the thing. I think that trans women should have been highlighted. This is my thing. I think they should have been highlighted, because I feel like equality has to be for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But I don't agree with certain things. I don't agree with the measures, and I also don't agree with I guess you have to kind of mention it so that people can think about it, because I guess they wouldn't have done it. BET's older. They're not. They're not like quick thinking. Like, oh, okay, let's start adding this, because maybe that was something. Maybe next year they'll think about that. But
right.
And athletes and what you were saying, and even the idea of like,
because biologically, look, I know some women out there don't want to hear it, but we're bigger and we're stronger than women are. Right. We just are.
Men are, and
it just got to be honest sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a guy in MMA, he broke a woman's jaw.
Really?
And he got in a fight with a woman.
Why?
Because he's a man who got in a ring with a trans woman who got in a ring with a woman and broke her jaw. It's
See,
real.
that I don't agree with, because I think in sports, men should be with men, and that becomes complicated, because if a man is now transgendered and become a woman, that's kind of, for them, they're like, I identify as a woman, so why would I go and become, like, why would I go play with men? Like, it's just, it's a very nuanced conversation. I really think we need to have someone in here that can really talk about this with. Yeah, because I do feel like it's not, there's still some questions that we have, and we also have to understand that the experience, we have to be empathetic to each other.
I agree.
And I understand that it's true that we can feel like, oh, that's not fair, and this is not fair, but they go through a lot of things as transgender people.
A lot.
Should they
be one of the most vulnerable Black trans women?
Yeah.
For suicide, for rape, for murder.
Right. So I think
we need to do this another time, because I have so much to say.
Let's
2 minute talk.
This was not enough. So, let's get one more topic in. This is a funny topic. This was the funny topic I was referring to earlier. The Popeye's chicken war. Now, the only reason why I bring this up is because of one specific thing that happened during this. this crazy fiasco. Obviously, if you've been hiding under a rock, you don't know what's going on.
The memes, man. The memes.
Yeah,
it
was a sandwich, a chicken sandwich that actually, like, it's sold in a few stores prior, like earlier in the year, but it didn't do as well. I think they just needed toasters. I just read it. I actually did some research on it, like went on Business Insider to like read an article on it, and basically, what happened was someone tweeted about it, like, wow, this chicken sandwich is really good. And then it went viral somehow. And people started going crazy over it.
Oh, my goodness.
And specifically, people of color and young people. You feel me? So the question now is this normal? Like, is this a good thing? Like, my question is,
some of the videos on,
like, is this something that we should be utilizing our time with? Like, is this something that we should be like, I haven't had the chicken sandwich and I definitely want to try it at some point, but it's not like that serious.
People were camping out and there was like lines. Like, it's
see, that's the thing. I can't go that serious. I mean, the fun aspect. Okay, I can enjoy that. The whole memeing and
it was funny.
Chick-fil-A versus Popeyes, and people joking, and people saying Chick-fil-A ain't for all that stuff that people were saying, and that's fun. And I think I enjoyed that, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. But when you have like some world star stuff going on, people fighting in Popeyes and all that, I don't want to. You gotta get all. You don't gotta go on. Come on now. Come on. Because that just makes some people look bad. Like, because the people watching, like, black folks fighting over chicken.
Chicken. Jeez. And then the only thing I liked about this topic, the reason why I brought this topic up is because there was a case in, I don't know what part, I think it was in the South, but a young teenager, I know, and I think a teenager kid, like an 18-year-old or something, he was registering people to vote on the line. He took that chance to go and register people. So that, I thought, he must have, like, that's kind of embarrassing. We should be embarrassed that this kid, like, you guys are waiting.
Ledbetter. I just want to put his name out there.
Thank you. How do you know how he is?
He's a high school senior.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for this guy, he must have said, like, these adults are, like, standing in line for hours selling chicken sandwiches. Like, people were selling it on eBay for, like, like, it was just retarded.
See, that's what you're control.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So he was like, he probably said to himself, these adults that are, like, supposedly the ones that are in charge are sitting here doing this. Let me at least take it upon myself.
I can't even probably vote.
Like get people to vote.
And that's Gen Z right there. I know y'all, Gen Z is the woke generation, the real woke generation of Gen Z. The young folks, man, so definitely that just is a perfect example of that. With this young man doing that, it's like, you guys got to.
That was beautiful.
Look at the bigger picture when it comes to these things.
Right. So on that note, we're going to end right here. We actually did we just did our quick fire episode.
Yay! I had fun. I missed y'all.
I know, I miss you too. I enjoy doing these. Thank you all for listening to the Politricks Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, please hit subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know what else you want us to talk about. You can email us at hello@politrickspodcast.com. Again, you can donate to help us keep this show free 99, as well as help us with the production and the quality control. So, and even someday, come to a city near you. So,
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So you can do that by clicking support this podcast on the Anchor app, or you can go to our Patreon and search our name, Politricks Podcast, and give a little something. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening and for all the support. My name's Kerstyn J on Instagram. Oh, Kerstyn D on Instagram. I just changed it.
Maxine.Outerbridge.
Christopher Wright _IN _NY. Christopher Wright in New York.
Okay, and we are out. Thank you. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
I think they got something they want to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I think they got something they want to say. I think they got something they want to say.